What's up, guys? Welcome to another Home Theater Hangout with yours truly and with Jordan. Jordan, you do your intro.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Haterade Live, the Haterade Hour podcast. Hope you guys enjoy this. I'm super excited to be talking about KRIX that are in the United States now. So, Shane's the first one to get them. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll be the second.
Somebody got to mute their PC. We're getting some echo, somebody. All right, so here we are. We've got Michael from KRIX Loudspeakers in the house. And then, of course, we got the legendary YouTube KRIX creator, Tony James himself. What's up, fellas?
Somebody got to mute their...
What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
Echo, somebody. All right, so here we are. We've got Michael from KRIX
Hold on.
Loudspeakers in the house.
Let's just pause this for a second. Tony, are we picking up your...
Tony's mic's going.
Sorry, I think that was me.
Okay, there we go. We're live. So, Michael, you guys are officially in the United States now. This took a few years because I remember I was emailing you, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe a couple years now, trying to get some speakers, maybe about 1 or 2 years, but you were like, oh, we're going to be coming to the U.S. very soon. And I would email you, ping you here and there. And now it's official. Now you guys are here. And I've got some speakers in the house. If you guys have missed that unboxing, I did a quick little unboxing, 4 or 5 minute unboxing. Great speakers. They are nothing like Klipsch, by the way. Just because they start with a K, they are not Klipsch. They're very different. But why don't you give us a little history of KRIX, Michael, and where'd you guys start? Obviously, Australia. Like, what was the idea behind the speakers?
Yeah, so it started back out in 1974, where Scott KRIX, our founder, just got out of uni and started making hi-fi speakers for friends and family and uni students, and then opened up a hi-fi shop in Adelaide, just south of Adelaide there, and he sold speaker kits to professionals and uni students, and they would just the students and the people and the customers would go to the shop and just pick out different components, play with the crossovers, and just sit there and have listening sessions. So he developed all these speaker kits that were were great for tax wise, and he decided that with all these big speaker manufacturers sending speakers to Australia, why couldn't we do something like that here and make a really great homegrown Aussie-made speaker? So he started a hi-fi shop in just south of Adelaide, and from there sold hi-fi speakers, and that was just down the road from a commercial cinema called the Capri in Adelaide. And one day the owner of the Capri was walking past the shop and saw these big sort of cinema horn system sitting in the window, and popped his head in and said to Scott, "Hey, I've got a bit of a problem at my theatre. Can you come and have a look?" So Scott went and had a look, and he then found that there was a problem acoustically in the room. They had the speakers a fair way up from that front wall, and it was causing some cone filtering and other issues with the sound hitting the front wall and then coming back. So he made the first infinite baffle wall system, as well as his first big pair of cinema speakers. So from there, word got out, and he built his factory a bit later on in the late 70s, early 80s. And from there, we were doing 90 to 100% of commercial cinema installs all throughout Australia. So,
wow.
Yeah, big commercial cinema history there.
Right. And then, so are these speakers the exact same as what's in the commercial space, or how'd you guys scale down for the residential space?
Like scale down from there? Yeah. So they are refined more. The cabinets are manufactured a little bit differently as well. And yeah, the commercial cinema has some slightly different requirements, but the technology that we use in those constant directivity horns is scaled down because not everyone can fit a big huge horn in their home theater or all those really big speakers. So we scale that down to some of our smaller ranges, and but you still, the things that are important in commercial cinema, like a nice consistent dispersion and response, they're still really important in small to medium size residential installs as well, because you want that control of the sound. So it has a really nice synergy between commercial cinema and residential.
Mm-hmm. How would you characterize the sound of KRIX speakers? Let me ask this to Tony, because he's not from KRIX.
I'm super biased. Obviously, I own now well over 100 KRIX speakers. So yeah, I can attest to how good they sound. Obviously, I've drunk the Kool-Aid on KRIX many years ago, and yeah, I've got the whole range, even up to those commercial grade ones that you're mentioning with the three-way with the big horns, the mid-range horn, high frequency, and the bass driver. Just have such a sweet sound. Like for me, they epitomize cinema. So in terms of that cinematic sound, I remember from day one when I put my MX10s on in my room, that was for me, that was it. Like that cinematic sound. I think that's the best way to describe it. I know that word is used a lot, but I've heard many, many, many speakers, and to me, the signature, the characteristic of KRIX speakers is very unique and something that whenever anyone hears them, I had some people through my showroom just before here, and even they were saying like, yeah, it sounded amazing, like very cinematic.
So, obviously, you guys got your start supplying cinema speakers, but then I see also you have under the home entertainment tab, it looks like just standard hi-fi speakers. Is this totally different sound quality wise from your cinema lineup? Is this more, I guess, more detail oriented, or like what's the main difference between the two?
Yeah, and that's one of the things as time went on and sort of Scott and his brothers and staff were going around installing cinemas, we around Australia, they continued that hi-fi line. So there wasn't actually a Series X or dedicated cinema range until probably late 2000, something like that. So what they would do is they'd still have the hi-fi and multi-channel, and that's around when digital sound and multi-channel really started getting into homes as well. So we're really well placed to be able to offer multi-channel type setups and speakers at that time. So that's always been a thing, hi-fi and multi-channel, and then the more dedicated line as well. And as the years have sort of gone on, we've sort of solidified those ranges into those two type categories. So yeah, the home entertainment ones are fantastic speakers. They've got those, if you want like a wood grain finish or real timber veneer and you want them out on display, like that photo there out in the room, they're like a great choice there. You can see there, that's one of our hi-fi speakers that we have adopted, that waveguide type tech that we use in-house, and sort of merged that with one of our hi-fi speakers, the esoteric atoms there. So the two lines run alongside each other. Generally, the hi-fi speakers, if they're out on view and you're wanting to push them up to certain levels, like SPL levels in a home theater, they'll still work great. And then as you go into more dedicated range, they're a lot more sensitive, less focus on looks, but a lot more focus on high sensitivity, really high power handling, and nice control of the sound. So the two ranges can be mixed together. Like you can pick an SX system or a dedicated cinema system and put in ceilings in, and they've both got really nice synergy between them. So they all work well together, but you've generally headed more towards a dedicated product or more a hi-fi media room type home entertainment product.
Right. Let's go over to the dedicated cinema line, because that's, I think, most of my crew.
Yeah.
Both of our viewers are really home theater enthusiasts. So what I'm interested in is you guys kind of pioneered the modular type of setup here, like your wall of sound. What's the original one here? We got the MX5, 20, 40, 30. What's the best one?
30,
we started out, the 30 was the very first one we did. So we were, our national sales manager and Scott were having dinner one night, and they sort of they started talking about installers and how, the complexities in trying to organize all the trades for, getting the timber, like trying to build a baffle wall, trying to get someone to, like the chippy, what's that, carpenter in America? Do you have chippies? Is that an Australian thing?
Chippy, carpenter, I guess.
Australian thing. Yeah. Carpenter and plasterer, and just trying to organize all those trades. And we said, how can we like make the best use of the space behind a screen and just make it as easy as possible, but get the performance where it sort of replicates that infinite baffle wall, where all of that is just built in and done for you. So all you have to do is specify the width, height, and depth of a space, and then just say to your tradies, here, this is what we need, and then the product just slots into that space, and you've essentially created the baffle wall straight from that, without having to go through the complexities of other things. So that's where that idea came from, and the MX-30 was the very first one that came out.
Oh, interesting. I've seen other brands kind of not copy it, but maybe were inspired by it.
Copy.
A lot were
I can
pretty
say it.
close. You could say a lot were pretty close to that design. We sort of take that as a compliment, I guess, and just kind of just like try and focus on what we're concentrating on. And soon after the 30, we did made the 20, and then from there it was actually our distributor, I think in India. He was over for a visit. Lovely guy, and he's like, "Hey, you guys need to scale this down a bit more, just for smaller rooms."
Right.
And that's where we actually came up with the MX 10 and then the MX 5, and we we made some prototypes and set them up in the factory, and just had there's a really cool photo I like where it had our distributor and our staff just standing around, just looking at this thing like, wow, for their size and the output they had. It was like, okay, we have to make this a product. So then the 5 and the 10 came in, and then soon after that, people were asking, hey, can we get a 3-way version of this? So that's where the MX-40 came out. So that's the full range of MX we have today.
Got you. So let me go back to the 5 really quick. So this is like the baby version,
The baby one,
and
yeah.
it goes up from there. Okay. Like what's so you would specify this for like a small room, like a living room type of thing?
Yeah, living room. Again, it's sort of like in a living room.
Well, small
Not everyone. Yeah, a small theater where people are happy to put it behind the screen. We do have people that put them below the screen, which is fine. So these models you see, we actually have the waveguide and the driver a little bit higher up in the MX, I think, and 5 anyway. So people can put them under the screen if they want. But yeah, smaller rooms. Anywhere up to 5 meters. Again, we just recommend people do their SPL calculations and requirements and figure out what they need from there and how much bass they want, because the subs change as well in each model. They go from 11s to 12s to 15s to 18s. So just speccing the system that's right for your room, what SPL you require, and budget's a consideration as well.
Is
This is the
there
big one. Okay.
is there a reason why on some of those, like that one, the orientation on the subwoofers are flipped? Is there...
Yeah. Originally, we were just trying not to excite the same room modes by offsetting the drivers, but then the reality is it probably doesn't make a hell of a lot of difference. And what we've done, now that sort of waveforming and other types of these technologies are coming out, we're actually making in the 20, 30, and 40 that a choice. So if you do want both subwoofer drivers up, maybe to get them in line with the half height of the wall, and then you can order the 2 subwoofers up if you want, or 2 down, so that you can incorporate these MX type systems into waveforming systems or whatever else you might be using. Yeah.
So you recommend like these being built in the wall, or is this something you can like throw on stands or something, or on a shelf?
Either you can. Generally, when you get up to the MX-30 and 40, they're pretty serious systems that most people will be doing a proper dedicated room and putting it behind there. But some people do that. They might build a false wall with a frame, put a plinth, and then the speakers on top of that, and then hang their screen like over the front. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a niche in the wall, but generally once you start getting up into that 20, 30, 40 category, people will generally go that extra mile and install it that way. Yeah.
Right.
Go down
this
to
is-
downloads, Shane. You'll be able to see on that page, if you scroll, go up a little bit, go to downloads, and then there's the installation manual. It'll show you how it's put together.
Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can bring
I
it
like
up here.
ways to install it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of
I
ways.
know.
We give a couple of ideas of how people can install them, whether they want to more decouple it from the wall or whether they want to actually tie it to that wall. There's lots of different ways to do it. Yeah. What way did you
There
do
we
it,
go.
Tony? You did it with you did
Yeah, I
it like
did
a
it-
full false wall.
Yeah, for my room that I've got now, I originally had the niche cut out with the plinth, which is similar to where Shane's pointing now, the top left. And then for my current room, I actually built just a stand, like a plinth, freestanding, and then packed it with insulation all around because I have false wall panels in front of it, and then a roll down screen with a masking system. So I couldn't do the full wall because I wanted to do the masking system. but it works. It works really well. I still have lots of insulation in there, but I mean, this is, I think, the ultimate. If you want that infinite baffle, this is obviously the better way of doing it. KRIX are really good. They provide this. I've given this to builders before, and they've made it based on the plans. The last two jobs I did, they built straight off this PDF and turned out perfectly.
Let me go back to this real quick. And is the front of it, is that some absorption on the front of it? I see those little dots.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. There's absorption panels on the front of those, and we get those laser cut. The 20, 30, and 40 have that design on them as well, with the extra holes in it, which I reckon makes them look that bit meaner, which I reckon looks pretty cool. And yeah, so the sound that is, if there is any sound that's reflected from the back of the screen, that gets absorbed, but also it helps the overall treatment of the room with the sound that's sort of bouncing from the back wall back to the front. Yeah.
And I noticed all of these are pretty high sensitivity speakers. Obviously, they're horns, so they should be pretty easy to drive. At least the smaller ones, easy to drive, right?
Yeah,
Like AVRs and stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things we focus on, is just like nice high sensitivity and high power handling, so you're able to get that big dynamic range if you need it. If you need to specify that, they're very capable of doing it, and without any distortion. Very, very low distortion, yeah.
Do you guys, I didn't check. You guys offer amplifiers? Oh, you do?
Yeah, we've got an amplifier for, that's mainly for the MX5 and 10 subwoofers, mainly.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
no in-house ones just yet. We sort of started looking at that. We did partner with an Australian amplifier manufacturer, which we've been selling those amplifiers for the last probably like 5 or 6 years now, and those have gone really well. But we've also got we've got great partnerships with a lot of the amplifier manufacturers. So they've got a lot of the feature sets and all the things that we need to be able to set in them to do it. So we don't have an in-house one like on the radar right now, but you never know.
Is that a cover?
Yeah, it's a magnetic cover that just clips
Okay.
over the front. Tony's got one of these, don't you, Tony? Ah, yeah, little magnetic cover that just clips on the front.
He
It's
went
sort
to
of
get it.
Yeah,
Hey,
we really
okay.
thought. Yeah,
Let me say, hold on.
They're really nice.
Come back,
We
Tony.
didn't come back, Tony. Let the king in here.
Show and
Close
tell.
up.
Yeah, there we go. That's nice. I like that.
A lot
Yeah,
of
cool.
Is that
a lot of
brushed
the
aluminum?
amplifiers, a lot of the amplifiers that we found that were driving those subs, they just didn't. They were more like rack type amplifiers, and because the MX5 and 10 people might want to put them more in a living room or a smaller media room, we wanted to take the fans out, make sure there was no fans, so it was entirely passive, so there was no extra
They are
noise
nice
in
and
the room,
quiet.
and we didn't want it looking, a bit naff at the front of the room there with the rest of the equipment, where you probably got a nice looking, other cabinetry and that sort of thing. So we thought we'll stick a really nice looking faceplate on the front, make it magnetic.
Right. 1 second here. I think there's a question for you here. He says, hey guys, as I'm building my room with KRIX looking at MX20, however, the room is 4.8 meters long, 4.5 wide. Is that overkill for this size of room? Cheers.
Yeah, I think we'll have to kick him out because he said the word overkill.
I was going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. That word is evil word.
Especially though, there's no such thing. I mean, you can always turn a system down. Being able to have something that's more capable when you turn it down means that it's operating even easier than if you were trying to really push it. But I'd say that's actually a pretty nice size room for an MX20. So I'd have no problems specifying an MX20 in that room size for sure. MX10, 20. If you had 1 row of seats, I reckon I've seen someone put an MX30 in that size room as well. So yeah.
4.5 meters. Wow.
Yeah, I've
Immersive.
seen some pretty small rooms with some crazy speaker systems. So yeah.
What's in your room? You got a pretty nice there. It looks very reminiscent of mine. What do you got in yours?
Yeah, it looks very similar. So in my room, I've got the PIX, which is a bit like an MX30. So this is before I built this cinema before the MX system was released. I built this room before I even worked at KRIX. So, but I knew I had Nuphonics then, which is our flagship floor standard, more hi-fi speaker, and I built a meter behind my front wall. So I had a meter room to install things, and then I built a false wall. So I eventually took them out and I put PIX behind the screen. And so I've got 3 picks and a couple of Cyclonics 18s between those. And then at the rear of the room, I've got 2 Cyclonics 15s. And then on top of that, so I've got a 9.1 with 4 subs, 0.6. So I've got Megaphonics flats hidden behind the panels along there. So there's sort of 2 on each wall as the room goes around. And then in the ceiling, I've got some IC80s, which are a nice high sensitivity in ceiling that we do, that I got covered with the same flocking as the material, the star ceiling material. So they're hidden up there and you can't see them.
Nice. Yeah, because we were talking earlier that most hi-fi brands that ever come on here, most of the their owners or whatever, they never have home theater setups. But you are like the first one that I'm aware of
And it's
actually
nice.
has the home theater in their house.
Let's go. And yeah, I came from being an enthusiast. So like this room was built, it didn't look like this. I've done this, I've skinned it and made it look as it has only in the last about sort of 3 or 4 years. But yeah, I came from more an enthusiast background, just really into AV and movies and couldn't get enough of it. So so this has always been a passion of mine to do. So the trick is not, when you work in an industry or in a job where you're really finessing the finer details and picking little points and stuff, and be able to go home and just chill out and watch a movie. So I don't get too caught up in the room at home. I just make sure I can enjoy it and not get too caught up on it. That's the main thing. You don't want to lose the passion for it just because you're doing it for a job. Yeah, and I'm 11 years in now and I still love it more than ever. So
What are your dimensions?
yeah. I'm not going to be able to tell you in feet, but it's about 7.1 meters by 4.5 wide.
So 1 meter is 3 feet. So
0.3,
21.
yeah.
You said 7 meters wide.
7 meters deep.
7 meters deep. Okay.
Yep, and then about 4.5
20.
wide. Yeah, and about a 9 foot top, 9 foot
Yeah.
ceiling.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, pretty much same size as mine. I think mine's a couple feet longer than yours.
Yeah, yours is a
Otherwise,
little
it's
bit
exactly
deeper.
the same. Yeah.
Is yours 10 feet, Shane, or ceiling?
10 high, but then the carpet takes away a little bit. I built a little subfloor too, so oops. So we went through the modular ones already. Let's see what else we got on this page here. Let's go one by one here. So what are these? The AS323, AS315. What are these? Oh, these are just little spacers, right?
Yeah, absorption
Okay.
space modules. So when
Gotcha.
people, because the MX systems are so wide, as people want to push them out to the edges of the screen, which is what you want to do for nice sound to picture coherence, we didn't want to break that baffle up and have a cavity there where the sound can again wrap around and do that. So we brought those out. The 200 and the 325s fit the MX20 and up, and the 315s fit the MX5 and 10. So you can just add them in. Maintains the look and maintains the performance. Yeah.
Okay. I thought those were speakers for a second. So they're hollow, like boxes.
Yeah, they've actually They've actually got machined holes in the front in a specific pattern, and then absorption on the inside. So they actually do act as sort of essentially like a little bit of a bass trap.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, so they can add to the absorption as well. Yeah.
All right. So let's go over to the freestanding section here. Oh, these are the big boys, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The big Series X ones. Yeah.
All right. I saw what'd you put in here recently, Tony? I saw some pictures.
Well, theatrics. I don't know if can I share a picture. I don't think.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Just hit the share button.
Yeah.
Share media
Yeah.
or share screen.
Share screen.
Okay. Okay. I think I've done this before, right? I'll just share my whole screen. I don't care. Where is it? Yeah. So
There we go.
in my showroom, I put these in, which are the theatrics. So you can see me for scale. I'm not very tall. I'm only like 5'7", but you can see these are very big 3-way speakers, 15-inch driver, mid-range and high frequency. This is for my showroom that I've built, and I'm pretty proud of them. If you can't tell, like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to have them, and they sound phenomenal. Like, honestly, in such a like in a room, this is the actual room that I've got. So it's
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
It's a big room. Yeah, the showroom's massive. For me, it's massive considering I've come from a very small room.
Yeah.
So like it's I don't know in feet and inches 'cause I'm terrible at that as well. But in terms of like the size of the room, it's 8 meters, 8.5 meters by 5.5 meters, and it goes to 3 meters high, so it's about just over 10 feet, I think,
Yeah.
for the city. And I've got obviously all KRIX. This is it here. I was looking for this photo. Sorry, bear with me. This
Yeah.
is what it looks like in the room.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got some JVCs up the back and a big Epson, but all the hyperphonics are down the side, and they're all hidden behind some sound wall acoustics panels. But yeah, the LCR is, I guess, the main event in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
Looks awesome.
hyperphonics around the room, wasn't it? Which I think is what Shane's got as well. A
Yeah.
pair of those.
yeah,
to test out.
yeah. It's an 11.7.6 with a Trinov altitude 32, and running waveforming. So I've got 7 subs in total, 4 at the front, 3 at the back, and they just pair really nicely. Like the soundstage is massive. Like, yeah, I might be in the business and a YouTuber, but man, I just love this stuff. And like, I put a massive smile on my face every time I walk in there. I was there earlier today, and I got to demo for people, and yeah, it's just I love doing it and seeing people's expression when they hear it, because those speakers, like I know there's the bigger ones, the cinematics would have the dual driver,
Yeah.
but there's these are, I would say, Mike, closer to like a 40, but just with a wider dispersion, I guess.
Yeah, very similar to a 40, but just bigger horns, so a little bit more
Yeah.
control. Yeah.
Just super nice. Like I hope you guys get to hear them one day. They're just amazing.
Do you have a room size specified for these speakers? Because these look like they should fill a massive space.
Yeah, so they'll fill a room up to 14 meters deep. I'm just going to convert that.
You said
So what's that,
14?
45? Yeah,
that's
14
three.
meters, so about
Yeah.
45, 46 feet deep. So they'll fill rooms, 2/3 back to pretty much reference in a 45 feet deep room, yeah.
Wow.
And then the
then-
dual ones, those ones will fill rooms about 23 meters deep, which is, 75 feet deep.
Oh wow, yeah, it's like big rooms.
Big rooms, yeah.
And blow my ears out, mine.
You have a volume control. We've told. don't crank
You
it.
nearly said overkill.
It's so good. Like they're very sensitive. So, like I know in my case, I had to do some things to like reduce the input sensitivity on them because they're so sensitive. So yeah, beautiful sound though. I know I'm biased, but I mean I'm biased for a reason.
Will KRIX ever run out of speaker names that end with an X? The subtle detail is awesome and a cool nod to Scott KRIX's namesake.
That's my buddy
Yeah.
Matt, by the way. Just that's the one I was telling you about
Okay.
before the chat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I hope not. Like, I hope we continue to do that, especially for the extreme range. We started, like, a lot of the speaker names started to get a bit of a mouthful, especially, we were moving into Europe and a lot of non-English speaking countries, and it was starting to get a bit of a struggle for them. So we've tried to just, the OWX, those type names, just to try and make a bit more sense, be a bit more consistent, and people get a bit of an idea just from the speaker name what's going on. But yeah, I really do hope they continue ending in X. I think we'll continue to do that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Dude, I mean, this is the first time I'm noticing that now.
Well, Michael got to name one, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. We those meetings are always fun. Trying to like words that end in X, a big long list, trying to figure out what relates. So yeah, it's sort of nice. We've switched the naming convention a bit more. We'll continue on with that, like with the OWX, so on wall X for extreme, and and make it a bit easier. But it's a little nod to the KRIX, the X in the KRIX for sure.
So this is what you have in yours, right? The Pixis?
Yeah. Yep. The Pix.
Okay.
So we've got 3 of those
Pix.
and a couple of 18s. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of driver is in this one? 1 inch. There's an 18 in this? Oh,
Compression
15
with
inch.
that's a 15. Yeah.
15, okay. Oh, so that's so this is your large space speakers. This section here.
Yeah, reasonably large space. So any of
Okay.
those dedicated ones with a 15-inch driver, but saying that, those you could put a single 15, like an MX-30's got a single 15 driver in it, and you could put that in rooms, 5 meters deep if you wanted. So it's not to say you can't put them in smaller rooms. The
Yeah.
main trick is I wouldn't necessarily put like a cinematics, which is the dual 15 and the horn in a shorter room, because you do need to give it
Yeah.
a little bit of space for the lobing patterns and the point source to all gel nicely. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say put a huge big towering speaker and sit 2 meters from it. You have to just pick the right speaker for your room.
What's this guy here? The Megaphonics in room, just like a smaller
Megaphonics
version
in-room?
of this.
Yeah, so that's where we've actually got 6 different versions of that speaker in terms of the cabinet dimensions and its shape. So we've got that's an in-room one. We do a flat on wall. We do a wedged on wall. We do a center. So we do different versions of it. It's essentially a similar complement to what is like in an MX-10. So it's got a 10-inch high efficiency bass driver in it, and it's got a dome tweeter with a waveguide. So we're still able to get a nice lot of sensitivity out of it. But because it's a bit shallower, I think it's about 150 mil deep. So because that's a little bit shallower, we were able to put a waveguide with a tweeter as opposed to a compression driver with a horn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to the on-wall stuff here. Well, actually, go to the in-wall.
You got a
So these are
question, too?
in-wall versions. Are you sell a lot of these in-walls, or do you find mostly the box type is more popular?
The on walls, now that
In-walls.
it depends sort of how much people want to see. If people are just after flat out performance, some people just love seeing the speakers in their room.
Yeah.
Tony's got another mate, Matt, I think it is, who I was talking to him about his room. He's like, I want to see as many speakers as possible, all like pointing at me. So
Yeah.
Tony did a tour of his room, and it just looked awesome. So yeah, if you can get away aesthetically with this, seeing the speakers and pointing at you, that's great. But not everyone necessarily wants to. So these are the in-wall versions that you can hide away behind panels, or they've just got a grill on the wall as well, so you don't see them too much. Some of those you just need to think about what sort of stud depth or cavity you've got to fit them into. But a lot of those will fit within a 90 mil stud, which isn't too deep at all.
So is the Megaphonic speakers, are these compression drivers, and are these two here, the Scenics and Phonics, or those soft dome tweeters?
Yeah, so it's funny, those ones, there's actually no compression drivers and horns in those in-walls. And that's mainly
Okay.
because when you get a compression driver and a horn, it takes up too much depth for what people are really prepared to put in their wall. So we've got a speaker or two in development where we're trying to fix that. But for now, these are those ones you just saw, that Megaphonics in-wall and then the Megaphonics center in-wall as well. They have a waveguide and dome tweeter just like the Megaphonics in-room. So they're a little bit deeper, so you need to make sure your wall's deep enough for that. But the one you saw there, I think it was the Phonics. Yeah, Phonics in wall in the bottom left, and the Scenics as well. They're a bit shallower because they don't have the waveguide, so we
Yeah.
can make that box a bit shallower. But you can see as well that they also aren't quite as sensitive. So they handle quite a bit of power, but I think they're about, what's that, 90 dB? I can't quite see it. 90 dB
88.
sensitivity or so? 88.
88,
So
yeah.
yeah, so you just you've got to think about that when you're doing your SPL calculations, but that's still like a considerable amount. Yeah,
Yeah, and these all have back boxes too, so that's cool.
yeah. No sound sort of leaking out into
There we
other
go.
rooms, and the thing with the back box is we can tune that performance. We know exactly what performance we're going to get out of that speaker, or you're going to get out of that speaker when you install it,
Yeah.
as opposed to if it doesn't have a back box, you're kind of at the mercy of what's going on with the wall cavity behind.
Let's go over to the on-wall stuff, which is you guys have sent me the OWX50 and which was the other one you guys sent me?
The-
That hyperphonics. bottom
Hyperphonics.
right, I
Oh
think.
no, the Phonics 45.
No, the
Okay.
bottom
No, you
right.
get
Oh, the bottom right? Oh, okay, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, those OWXs, they're actually, when I was saying it, when you get to a compression driver and a constant directivity horn, you generally need a deeper box. And we sort of gave a challenge to the engineers and said, can you make a shallow speaker that has a compression driver and a constant directivity horn? So we design all our constant directivity horns in-house, and we have 3 patents on the technology. And that's what makes the OWX pretty special, is that we're able to keep that to 150 mil box. So I think that's about 12 6 inches. So we're able to keep the
Yeah,
depth
big.
to that. But get a concentractivity horn and a compression driver all to fit within that depth. So they're pretty. This is the first time we've been able to do that in a speaker.
Yeah,
Can you?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so can you customize the? I know they have the swivel. Are they customizable to where you can do like a Visa mount, or is it just the?
No, at the moment it's just to that there's certain degrees. It's in the installation guide for those. So we'll say, right, you can angle the 50. I think it's up to 30 degrees, and you can angle the 55 up to 70 or 80 or something like that. So I mean, Visa mounts, you can use them. It does mean you generally have to sort of screw into the box or into the
Yeah.
cabinet. Some people don't mind. Some people don't necessarily want to do that. So yeah, different ways to slice it.
Yeah, I mean they don't hang off the wall that far though. So
No, and that's the idea. We made the back of them. You can see they've sort of got that cutout, that bevel
yeah,
at the back, so that especially with the 55. So when you pan them and angle them, they actually don't take up as much depth. It sort of hides into the wall, cuts sort of back a bit, so it's not actually sticking out too far. So we've tried to think of everything with these.
yeah.
Nice.
I believe. Plus, with these, you kind of need that little space for the wires to stick out,
Mm.
which once they're against your wall. Plus, there's like 4 mounting spots up top, which you can change the angle, which is convenient. Also convenient. I was saying that they come with the mounting brackets. Like most speakers don't have that, which is super cool. It's the little things I think they make a big difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great looking speaker too. One of the reasons why I did email you originally was I was like, oh, these are like typically I like to have good looking speakers. Obviously they got to sound good, but something that really catches your eye. I was like, oh, it's KRIX. I was like, oh, these are badass looking speakers for your home theater. Not too many brands have a good looking home theater speaker, but you guys have really good looking speakers. I'm an aesthetic guy, so I was like, all right, I got to check these out because these are good looking speakers. And like all of your stuff actually looks really good and functional as well. I mean, so as we go up, like, are these the same, just in different form factors? The 5055?
Yeah, pretty much same speaker, different form factor. It was mainly to give people, again, installers or enthusiasts a choice. They might say, hey, I'm doing a double bass array or something like that, or I need to put my subwoofer above the left speaker. And if the speaker was too tall, then it might not fit. So we actually created a square one where you might want to put a sub, that was the OWX50, where you might want to put a sub above and below it. Or if you want to put a sub to the left and right, the OWX55 is a bit narrower and taller. So, pick whichever one you want out of that so that you can, hit whatever requirements you need for the placement of the speakers and the subs on the wall.
Yeah. These probably look better on the sidewall too, I think.
Yeah, so those ones, they can pan around. You can get a lot more an angle on those, and they really don't change depth much. With the square ones, obviously, when you pan those around, they stick out a bit further on the wall. So 55s are generally the go for surrounds, yeah.
And you sent me these ones too. I believe you can mount these on your ceiling for height speakers.
Yeah. So they go all the way. Some people use these. They're great front speakers as well, but we do see a lot of people use them as surrounds and then upper layer as well in heights, tops, middles, and rears. That's what Tony has all the way around in his homeroom, and I think at his showroom as well. So they're a dome tweeter with a waveguide and I think it's a 6.5 really high power bass driver in it. I think it's got like a 2-inch voice coil on that bass driver. So the output of those is, I was a bit shocked the first time I heard it. They've got a lot of output.
And these are a little different. The waveguide on these are a little bit different. So you can mount them in either direction, horizontal or vertical. Whereas the other ones, OWX, I believe there's only one orientation, right? Because it's wider dispersion rather than vertical. The vertical and horizontal is different.
Yeah, but with it's similar, like the Hyperphonics, that one there, you can actually mount that horizontally. And similar with the OWX55, you can mount that on its side. And we do actually get people doing that with like above their LED panels or something like that. So, and with the upper layer as well, with your Atmos speakers, you can rotate them on their side and they still have a really nice, consistent dispersion. So yeah, you can, those ones the square ones, the 50s wouldn't make too much difference, but the 55s you can definitely put on their side and
Gotcha.
use those that way as well. Optimally, the best response you're going to get is across the horizontal plane when they're vertical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you just got to think about how far away you are from that speaker. The good thing is we released performance reports for these speakers, so you can actually look at the directivity patterns. And like any room, if you can actually aim them towards the main seat, which is your or tilt them in or pan them in, aiming them towards the seat, that's the aim there. And just good room design will help with that.
And the ones without the waveguide, like these guys, the Phonics Flat, are these the step down versions of the OWXs?
Yeah, so they're the sort of step down, I'd say, maybe from the Hyperphonics 45. So in terms of like output and that as well. So not everyone necessarily might want to go up to a Hyperphonics. They might want the Phonics that does radiate sound a bit wider than the Hyperphonics would, because with the waveguides and the horns, obviously, really control that dispersion. The Phonics have a bit more wider dispersion. So if you've got a side wall or a rear where you want a bit more wider dispersion, and because they're closer, they don't necessarily have to be as high sensitivity or power handling because you're closer to them. You can use those to cover more seats if you'd like to.
And these ones are just flush mount on your wall, I take it.
Yeah. So that's sort of like back in the legacy, like 5.1 and 7.1 type formats where people would install their surrounds a couple of feet above their head. Those were those wedge type ones, which you'd mount them there, and we'd build the baffle, the angle into the baffle, so that you didn't have to tilt them down.
Gotcha. Okay. How would you, this being the Megaphonics center, would you put that dead center of your wall, or would you just line the whole box up center, or does it matter?
I'd put the box center. You mean, are you sort of saying where's the design axis? Like, do you aim more for the waveguide?
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to go more from the design axis of the speaker, which is halfway between the two drivers in a two-driver, two-way configuration. So the sweet spot is actually the middle of those drivers. So we would recommend lining that middle part, which is the center of the box, directly with the center seat.
Gotcha. Okay. No price on these guys here. I noticed you had prices on the home entertainment speakers.
Yeah, I'm not sure sort of why they're sort of on the home entertainment or those. Again, because we're across different regions and that sort of thing. Don't know. I'll talk to the marketing guru, but yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next section here. Let's go to your subwoofers. Where are we at here? There we go. Oh, is this the new one? 218?
Yeah, that's the new UCX 218. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it looks small in this picture, but how big is it? So
1.2
Pretty big.
meters. What's that?
Big and heavy.
1.2.
So these have dual 18s.
About 4 feet tall.
Yeah, these are big.
Yeah, and in a dual opposing design. So that's a very specific design choice we made, so that the cabinet is incredibly inert, so you don't get that extra distortion and that sort of from the driver moving, and that it's the force cancels out, so they stay dead still.
Are you stacking these, or like how's that set up?
You can at a hi-fi show we did it in Melbourne, and then at the Smart Home Expo in Mumbai as well. We dual stacked a couple of those at the rear, and then we had 6 of those at the front. So don't have to stack them; they can lay on their side as well. But you can stack them if you want. They just happen to be a nice height that if you do double stack them, it can work quite well for waveforming, depending on your ceiling height. So yeah.
So this will go down to the infrasonic realm. 10 hertz, obviously lower, probably in room response.
Yeah, they dig nice and low, and they're a full range sub as well. So they'll play the whole range. So you can just plug them in and obviously configure them, but they'll play all the way from that up to your 120 hertz that you're wanting for your LFE track.
Tony, didn't you install these in your demo? Your show? No.
I've got the Cyclonics 18s. I will eventually move to probably that one. Those are the ones I do have. I will probably be moving to a new sub, which is a single driver version of that one. But for the moment, and my budget building that room, which still costed a lot, I opted for the 18s. And the good thing with these ones is that they give because they're really, really good within that 50 to 70 range. You get really good chest slam and
Yeah.
explosions sound really good. I mean, I'm not massively into the infrasonic stuff. Like I know a lot of people are. I just think in movies, I just enjoy. Like I roll mine off at 25 hertz. And there's massive output. Like they have a lot of output. But like I'll eventually get to the infrasonics, but need more money basically. They're very
I
expensive, and not just that. The amps for those UCX 218s, you need
yeah.
something very like a power soft, like 5,000 watt power handling. Like you you need something pretty substantial. And I mean, I've got the LEA 1504s in my room now. And I mean, they're like circa $10,000 Australian per 4-channel amp. So even just to power mine, we're looking at 20,000 Australian dollars just to power my cyclonics. So yeah, once you start getting up there, like it ends up, multiplying the cost as well.
Well, Tony, it's just money. You can always make more.
Yeah, just some spare change lying around.
Nice.
Tony's like, I don't need infrasonics. Until you hear this, I'm sure
No,
you're
I
going to
do.
be like,
Look, I've heard them. I was at the announcement video, I was at the announcement show, like with the dealers, and obviously I want them, but I think the total cost for me to do that would have been almost the cost of all of the speakers that I've already got. So, and plus the amps. So I think it would have been around 100,000 Australian dollars for me to do it the way I wanted to do it. So
I
not
think
yet.
that conference we had, I think we just had 2 of those, and it was in a lecture theater in the
Yep.
the
Yep.
festival, wherever it was. It was a huge, like 500 seat auditorium probably.
Yeah.
And we had
And
2 of
it's-
those and a few speakers, and we played like Ford versus Ferrari and some other stuff as well. And it was just
It shook
Yeah.
the whole place with just two
it
of
was
them.
just 2. There was just 2 of them in this 500 seat auditorium. It was pretty crazy. We didn't go over the top, but it was there's plenty of output.
Believe me, I want them, Shane. I want them. Believe me, I want them.
I bet you do.
And I made space in my front wall and back wall that they will fit. Like I basically
Prepared.
sacrifice space in my showroom so that when the time comes, I can put them in.
Yeah, pre-planned already. Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm going to move these through jobs. The ones that I've got, I'll probably sell them at a discount into some jobs, and then I'll put these ones in. I've got them too.
Let's talk about this. So this is a powered one, eh?
Yeah, so that's one of the only, if not the only, powered dedicated sub we do. We do active ones in the home entertainment range, but yeah, that's one of the active subs that we do. That's the 12-inch. So that's almost, you can think of that like a active Cyclonics 12. That'll match up well with an MX10. So yeah, just the versatility of just being able to plug it into the power at the back of the room. That's exactly what Tony did in his room. He had a couple of those at the back of the room that he plugged into power, and he was ready to go.
Yeah, Tony, are you still using your theater at your house, or are you at the showroom?
That's what I was wondering. I want to go to my theater. Go to the
Yeah, no.
Well, I'll tell you, the truth is yes, because I'll be honest, in a big factory unit in the middle of the night on your own, I mean, I'm not a wuss, but man, it feels a bit weird being in a ginormous room on your own in the middle of the night. And yes, I have done it, but I still enjoy it. Like I was in my room last night. I did fall asleep within about 10 minutes, but I was in there. And I still enjoy it. And I've got those subs in there and they sound great. I've got them in waveforming in my home theater as well.
How
But
far
Tony
yeah,
are
loves
you
horror,
from your
horror
theater?
movies.
No, no, I don't like horror movies. Neither do you, so don't out me because I know you don't either.
I'm not too bad, but yeah.
How far?
Sorry, Jordan, you said something?
Oh yeah, I was just wondering how far his showroom is from his actual home.
5 minutes.
Oh my gosh,
wow,
really?
Man.
It's not really a business. It's just an excuse to build a home theater. I'm sorry, I'm outing myself here, but geez Louise, I did this because I love this stuff too much, and I just wanted to build my massive dream room, so I did. And it's
That's
just an
awesome.
excuse to put home theaters in there, but now actually I have to cover the cost of it, sadly. But yeah, I love this stuff. If you can't tell.
Yeah.
KRIX After
Yeah, I can
Dark from Matt. That's good. You're gonna have to hire a bodyguard, Tony, so you can go and watch movies at night.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. If you're ever over here, come round.
If we're down there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the last section here. Let's go to the soundbar section. You guys, are these big movers or what? Oh, you only got one.
It's really just the one. So we
Okay.
call that the LX7. So that is, if you think of the Hyperphonics 45s that you've got, if you were to actually put those waveguides and those drivers, that big 6.5 inch drive with the 2 inch voice coil, if you were to put that in a passive linear box, that's the performance you'll get out of it. So performance wise, they're pretty spectacular, and they
Hmm.
come in different varieties: 75, 85, and 100. And we can actually do a custom sizes between that if you need that. So
Gotcha.
it gives you a bit more versatility in terms of it's a passive bus. So you can still pick your AVR, you can still mix it with any surround and upper layer speakers you might want. But it's sort of for those people that might have a lounge room and they can't put our bigger Series X speakers in there. This kind of gives you that in the form of a soundbar.
Gotcha. So that's a fairly big soundbar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not small. There's all the dimensions are on the spec sheet in the
Yeah.
download section. But yeah, they go to the width of whatever 75, 85, 100 inch TV. I think they go up to probably like 105, 110 inch TV before we cap out there.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you obviously you guys have a huge range of speakers for different size rooms, and is there? Well, Tony, is there like a specific amplifiers that you find works well with Creek speakers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for up until now, I was using the Encore Electra amps from which Michael was talking about earlier. However, I think my new favorites are the LEAs, Loud Enough Audio. And the reason that I'm just such a convert on them is because you can use them for your speakers as well as your subs. They're a Class D amp, but their power is, I think they understate the power handling, which I discovered when I used literally an amplifier that was supposed to be rated for half the power, and I used it to power my subs, and there was still so much headroom in it. So I think, is LEA an American brand? I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it? Or is it British, UK?
Yeah, I've
I
never heard
can't
of it.
remember.
I think they're American. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the beauty of them is that you can get Dante cards for them as well. So you can use like a digital active system, Dante system, or you can just use them as per normal. But because it's got a web interface, you can go in and you can add all the features you want. KRIX also have provided config files for their speakers. So I was able to, I was talking to John from R&D and Simon, and they sent me the files, and I literally just go through the web interface, hit upload, and it's an MX40 system or sub, I guess. It's a Cyclonics 18, same sub, and it just instantly uploads all the settings, all the high pass, low pass, sensitivity, like the all the input protection, and it's just, yeah, really really easy, and they're clean. They don't make a lot of noise like hissing and things like that. They're just really clean. So I
What do you
think that's
mean?
really,
You can upload settings. You guys have recommended PEQs and for your speakers. Is that what you're saying? What you mean?
Mainly on the subs. So because they're
Gotcha.
passive subs, we'll put, if we need to put DSP in them, or for the
Oh, gotcha.
Cyclonics and that, it's not so much about PEQs in that. It is with the UCX 218, but in the other subs, it's more about just putting a high pass on it and some limiters, just so it's not overdriven, and that's mainly
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Do you have? Is that downloadable like for the Trinol from your site or from your installers, dealers?
Yeah, so for our dealers, they can log into their, we've got like a dealer portal. They can log in there and grab the config files and transfer them across and upload them.
Back to the MX20. How power hungry are these modulars at to run?
I mean, the MX20, if we're specifically talking about that, because they're so efficient, 96 or so dB sensitivity. We had an MX20 in our showroom at the factory, and we've run that on everything. I think the last time we've run that off of Denon 5200, and I think then went to like a 6300 or something like that, and we were pushing beyond sort of 105 dB peaks in there without too much trouble, and that's about a 6.5 meter deep room. So the MX20 is where, I don't know, you don't have to, but I do find people, with AVRs, they might go up to about the MX20, and then as they get into the 30 and the 40, that's where they might start going more separates, like separate pre-pro and amplifiers there. Don't have to. People are more than welcome to do pre-pros and amplifiers with an MX20 or an even MX10, but that's about the point where the MX20 could happily run off an AVR that's got enough juice. Mid to higher end AVR will run it fine. Yeah.
Right. How would you Tony? How would you describe the sound of those on-wall modulars? Like, because I know they're all kind of like stacked together. Is the separation, is the soundstage fairly big, or do you find it to be kind of, more narrow dispersion? Like,
You're
what's
talking
the
about for the OWX specifically?
no, just the modular, like the
Oh,
the
the MX
modular.
series.
Yeah.
Look, with the way that I've done my MX speakers, and I've also done some installs for clients, and Michael's a big one for this, and so Scott Cricks, he actually personally told me to do this, is to put the spacers, so get them out as wide as you can, according to design access, obviously, of the room and things like that, but also to leave enough space in the cavities so that you can tow them in. So I find that with the MXs specifically, if you have them aimed, even though they're got the constant directivity, you just get that little bit of extra channel separation as well. And if you combine that with front wides, because they tonally match pretty much every speaker they have, it's just really seamless, like panning between the speakers. But I think to answer your question, a lot of people have asked me personally is about, oh, isn't it very restricting having the modular there? You can't play subs where you need to and whatever. I mean, there's obviously that is a valid concern, but if you do put the spacers in and you position the subs on, say, the quarter points to avoid the room modes, and you put some subs at the back as well, which is what I did, it completely changes the bass response, and you can really dial it in really nicely. If you've got like a mini DSP, and you can do it manually with RW, or if you've got a Trinog, you use the bass management. But I still think the MX product is just such a great product for the price that you pay for it. You get a lot of speaker. You get subs. You get the whole LCR.
Yeah.
With the left and the right as well, there actually are generally placed at angles that you would be putting your normal speakers at if it wasn't a modular system. So I do find that with maybe one pair of spacers that it does generally get your left and your right out to at least like 22 degrees. It depends how close you're sitting to the system. So it doesn't and if you need to add more absorption space or modules, you can for an even wider room. You kind of get to a point where you just don't want to keep adding absorption spacer modules. You might have a beyond 150-inch screen or something like that where it's just not feasible. So that's where you can switch over to something like the PIX. That's like an MX30, but you can place that wherever you want, pair it with some Cyclonics 18s, and you can go that way, or you can go to OWX. And if there are systems where even on smaller screens, people are like, no, I want this exactly here and I want these subs exactly there, they'll go more to those separate systems like the OWX and the Cyclonics 18s, and then they'll fill in the area around them with some acoustic treatment, and so you can sort of pick your own way you want to do it.
What is your thoughts, both of you guys, on getting your speakers behind the screen? Would you ever place your left and right speakers outside of the screen borders, or do you always keep them within the screen?
Personally, I haven't had a need to place them outside. I know there's schools of thought on that. I mean, I'll share my screen for 2 seconds. I know we're running out of time now, but I'll just share my whole screen with you. This is my buddy Matt's room, and I designed this for him. You can see these are the OWX 50s, right? Now, he's gone with this size screen. We couldn't go with the OWX 50s. Sorry, these are 55s, because the gap between the screen and the sub, because we've placed these subs on the quarter points for waveforming. So you can see he's going to have waveforming. So you can see we've even mounted his subs higher up as well. So a 2+2 setup. But this is what I mean. KRIX has so many options that if you wanted to say go with waveforming, you can use a speaker like this and push it to the edge. I don't know if you would in this room, you could even push it outside the screen. So I guess if that answers your question.
It's kind of, if I can chime in, it's with RP22, they recommend getting the speakers out to the width of the screen, sort of, but still behind, to try and match the angle, so you get really nice sound to picture coherence. So I think if the speaker is just outside the screen, it's your brain's easily going to be able to merge those two together. I think it's probably more of a problem where your screen's a bit smaller and you end up putting your left and your right a lot wider out into the room, and that sound to picture coherence is broken a bit. So I think it really just depends on how close you sit and trying to maintain that sound to picture coherence.
Right. Look at that. We got Don Hensley. What's up, Don? Heard KRIX at Cedia. Fantastic speakers. They handled reference easily. What else we got? I believe we have a couple more comments here.
Somebody asked about the new OW50.
Which one? This one?
Uh,
Oh no, it's a different one.
no,
There.
it's. They were saying if you could talk about the new. Can you talk about the new OW50? I don't know. Is this one right
OWX50
here?
maybe?
They were the ones we were showing literally. I think it's OWX50, I think he meant.
Yeah,
Which
yeah. I
came
think,
up.
Oh,
I think
this
that's
one I
the
got. Yeah.
That's what you got. So maybe
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll say in 2 or 3 weeks' time, or whenever
Yeah.
Shane gets the chance, he'll be able to expand on those. But the really quick summary about the OWX 50s is that they're a constant directivity horn that's designed in house with a compression driver and dual 6.5-inch bass drivers with nice big voice calls in them. So I think the sensitivity is rated like 97, 98 dB, and they handle up to I think like 500 watts. So in terms of output and performance, they're pretty incredible and nice compact box as well. So.
Hello, what's up, Ike? Ike is in the chat as well.
What's up,
Yeah, we
Ike?
got the home theater hub here.
Hi, Don. What's up?
All right, since you guys have your own home theaters in your houses, what has been the most recent movie that you guys have watched in your theaters? The last one.
Oh, I've been watching Stranger Things, like just catching up. I've been really getting into that and just catching up on that before the new season comes out. So I'm not sure I even remember what the last movie I watched. I'll try and remember while Tony tells us. Have you watched a movie in your home
Yeah,
theater?
it's a really good one. It's called Back of Your Eyelids. It's it's an amazing one where you sit back in the chair and you just see this. No, in all seriousness, I think I watched the new Superman movie on Kaleidoscope.
Oh yeah. Oh, how are you finding the Kaleidoscape now that it's
Loving
over there?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Sorry. Look, for us, it's new. Like, I got really excited when I made my videos. Like, you guys have had it forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this thing is so cool. I've been waiting for this for such a long time.
Oh, wasn't available?
You couldn't buy it here for licensing reasons. I mean, I'm actually a dealer now. This isn't a plug because I don't care where anyone buys it, but it's I needed to buy one for my business. Damn shame. So yeah, I was just I know I'm sounding super excited about it, but it just changes everything. Like the way that you can just seamlessly go into demos, and
I love
for home
that
theater
feature.
enthusiasts, I think it's a must-have. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's great.
So, what did you think about Superman? How'd you find the bass in that?
it was all right. I wasn't a fan
see.
of the movie. I wasn't
Okay.
a fan of it personally.
Same.
June 2 for me still is the best base. Like for Dyken Attack, where they first go in and the helicopter and they go behind the pillar and shoot, and that to me is the best base. Go listen to that.
What movie?
that.
Coming.
Dune
June
2.
Part 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
love
a good
that movie.
bookmark in Kaleidoscope. You'll see it's the very first one.
Wait till you see.
I listened to it today and it was so good.
I think wait till you get Tron Ares comes on the Kaleidoscape or in 4K. I think that's good.
Have you seen that yet?
Rock.
Yeah, that's if they don't nuke it, man.
Yeah.
It's Disney, so I'm
It
kind
is
of worried
Disney,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But as far as visually, I think that's probably going to be one of the standards, man. I mean, there's so much HDR, so much contrast. The movie is okay, but where did you see it, Shane? Because I saw it twice. I saw it in 3D, and then I saw it in IMAX 3D.
Hold on a second. What are you talking about, dude? Michael doesn't look angry.
What?
And my eyebrows are frowning. I'm a happy guy, I promise. I have heard that before. Maybe I just look grumpy. I don't know.
I
Never
think it looks
crossed my
normal.
mind.
Poor Michael.
No, I saw it. I saw it in IMAX and in Dolby, and both of them just hammered. I've never heard bass in a theater like that before. And
Nine Inch
I mean,
Nails,
Dune,
man.
Dune did sound pretty impressive, but it was just like that. Just only a couple scenes. Like all of Ares is just 9 Inch Nails soundtrack, like all the way through, and it was just punishing. So I'm expecting that to be demo material when it comes out.
I hope so.
When's it coming? I hope, like you said, Disney don't nuke it because that'll be a real shame.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up on this one though. I mean, I will say, to me, I thought, and I think Shane, you watched it. I don't know if you watched it in Kaleidoscape. Now it's not the best ever, but Fantastic Four, I was very impressed. That one actually surprised me with the audio. I'm like, oh, okay, this seems like they're on the up and up here. So
Here's a question for Michael and Tony. IMAX mix was hot for Tron. Do you guys juice up? How much do you juice your subs up? Or do you try to keep everything at reference level when you're taking your measurements?
Plus 20 dB.
It's actually not far off, I reckon. I know
Michael's
what
laughing
Tony's like.
because he knows what I'm running.
That's the first thing I do when I walk into a room. That he like just look at what the LFE and the bass management set to. Because
hot,
if he could
huh?
turn it to 11, he would. Yeah, maybe not 20.
It's
You
not
like
20.
your bass, don't you, Tony? It really depends on the room and the setup, and I generally run them a few dB hot, but it depends. We're doing a lot of like waveforming rooms. You probably know, Shane, sometimes you set your bass management a certain way and your LFE a certain way, and there's some rooms, like if we go to a show, we might actually like have to really crank that to
Yeah.
get it to align nicely. So generally I'll add like 2 or 3 dB and then have a listen, and if you're getting that punch and if everything syncs how it should, then it's about right. Otherwise, turn it up more.
Right.
You got the
So-
excursion curve, so you can do a lot with that. As
What's
we
that?
did. The excursion curve in the Trinov.
Yeah.
You can boost it, which is what we did in mine. Michael knows my setup because he remoted in and had a look because he's the Trinov specialist at KRIX. So, there's still heaps of headroom in my setup, but that's one of the cool things you can do, which
I'm looking
learned
forward to listening to your showroom, and yeah.
Oh, you
seeing
haven't
what
been
you're
down to
doing
his place yet?
No. So I've I had a pretty busy schedule with CEDIA, and we had our dealer conference and some training and that sort of thing. So I'm going to try and get on a plane to Sydney soon, and I guess allow Tony to watch a movie in the middle of the night. I'll stand at the door.
You'll take the hit.
Protect
I'll
him.
put Poltergeist on or something. You can
No
watch
thanks.
that.
So what time is it over there for you, Michael?
12:30 lunch.
Oh, so
10
it's like,
plus 1.
okay,
Yep.
it's early for you guys. All right, so you were watching, Michael, Stranger Things. Stranger Things has really good Atmos mix on all seasons.
Yeah, it really does. And sort of watching that, I've watched it probably once or twice before, and now my son's sort of an age where he can start watching it, so he can appreciate the Atmos mix. When there's like a doorbell rings, and one of the kids is inside the house, and the doorbell rings, and it comes up from the top left middle kind of thing. Like he picks up on that, and it's just it just adds to sort of the enjoyment of the TV show for sure. So I'm looking forward to season 5.
So
Is
how
your-
is your family? Does
Yeah.
your family? Are you like the main one that uses your theater, or does your family come in there and sit down with you and watch movies, or is it like 90% you, 50%?
Yeah. It used to be like 95% me, and as the kids are getting a bit older, like they're like, "Hey, can we watch a movie on a Friday night?" So Friday night is generally, family movie night where like we've gone through every Marvel movie, every Indiana Jones, like all the Harry Potters, and just caught up on all that stuff that he was probably a little bit young to watch. But now it's sort of getting to that age where he can start watching those. So we're going through all the Star Wars, and that's, to me, that's what it's all about. Like just having good fun with your family, put a smile on your face, whether you've got a $2,000 system, a $10,000 system, or $100,000. If at the end of the day, if you can go in there and have some fun and put a smile on your face, that's what the whole hobby's about, I reckon.
Yeah. Is your wife into it, Tony?
At all? Doesn't care.
Oh, I built her a system, but she uses it to watch trashy TV shows like Married at First Sight. I don't know if that's one that's over there.
Is that in Dolby Atmos?
In Dolby Atmos. Yeah, make sure I towed those left and rights in for her. No, but she's not into it at all. Neither are my kids, really. My daughter will. She'll come. She'll say to me, "Hey, can we go to the showroom?" So I'm not scared now because I've got my daughter there to protect me. And we'll go to the showroom. And yeah, she'll watch anything with me. And she's always been into movies. So but the rest of them not interested. My boys are not interested at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sadly, I am sad about it. I won't lie.
And Shane, your wife, she's not big about it either, but she'll watch stuff in there with you, right?
Yeah, she'll watch stuff. I mean, usually Usually we just go out to the movies on Sundays because that's like her day off. But if there's something that's still playing at the theaters and we have it here, either on digital or Kaleidoscape, then I'll try to persuade her to watch it at home. Like F1, we watched F1 was the last thing we watched, so she dug it. Otherwise, she can care less. She's like, "Did you get something new? Are there new boxes in the kitchen?" I'm like,
Always in the kitchen.
"That's my storage room. Is my kitchen."
How do you walk around in there, man? Like cook and stuff.
Dude, it's just me most of the time, so it's okay. That's all right. All right, so Tony, before we get off here, obviously you've a lot of us have followed your humble beginnings as a YouTuber to now one of Australia's premier home theater installers slash
Oh
dealers.
man, come on. No,
Where
no,
do you have a website or something?
yeah, buildmontage.com, because I'm super original. I just kept everything the same. So yeah, buildmontage.com. I've spent a lot of time. I built the website myself.
Bring up some more pictures. Let me see some more pictures.
You
I'll
designed
tell you
your web design and all that stuff.
I was a web designer in a previous
okay.
life, as was Michael, I think, from memory. We have a lot of similarities. We found out over the years. I'll bring up my website. I'll show you. Where is it? How do I share this thing again? Share.
Terminator Juice. Yeah, Terminator says that most of his friends who don't have a theater don't believe him when they tell them that most family members. Yeah, my friends like to come over and watch movies, but if I try to like talk to them about home theater stuff, they could care less.
Yeah, they glaze over. Yeah, that's it. Like Tony, you've sort of through your Discord and stuff, Tony. Like you've met really like-minded guys who have sort of become friends, haven't they? And you like do these movie nights and just geek out over it.
Yeah, like one of my best mates, Leo. He's probably not on here, although he should be. I'm going to slap him if he wasn't watching this. But he's me and we talk pretty much every day, and we'll sit there and talk about JVC pretty much every day because we both love JVCs. And we'll just talk about this hobby to the nth degree every day for far too long. Look, I have transitioned, I guess, into being a home cinema installer. I'm not what I would call a retail store or box shifter or someone just trying to make money. Like for me, I just love building rooms. So I kind of made sure that my business is around, I wanted to build the rooms that I wanted to build for other people and sort of had the same kind of mindset. Not necessarily enthusiast rooms, but rooms where you're not just saying, hey, buy this product because I stock it. I don't stock any products. So, and obviously KRIX is at the center of everything. They're the only speaker brand that I have in my showroom. So, I mean, I'm not using this as a plug, honestly. Obviously, big American audience, they can't really do much with me. But the reality is I just love building rooms. And I've obviously learned a lot from the man who's your other guest as well over time. And I just absolutely love it. I go and do I've done a few client builds now, and I've uploaded them to the website. So you can actually go through it. This is my latest project, which I did last week. This was an MX-30 and a Trinov. And I've time-lapsed it. Like there'll be a room tour coming out, hopefully tomorrow on this room. And myself and Leo, my good buddy Leo, he came and helped me. So I do everything like the whole room design and then basically everything. This is an MX-30 system that we put in. You can see the client actually built his own spaces just to save a little bit of money. He did spend a lot of money on this room. But yeah, that's, I guess, my transition. I'm still a YouTuber. I still want to continue doing YouTube videos and still will. And they won't be slanted around my business at all. It will just be essentially still reviewing products and doing everything that I've always done. Because my dream was to hit 100,000 and I'm very close. So I just want that plaque. I just really want that plaque. And then I'll retire.
You can have mine.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Sorry to talk for too long, but yeah, that's pretty much there. This is the room there. It's just, I love this stuff. Like I can't say it enough. I just love this stuff.
No, I'm impressed. Like you're probably the first YouTuber I've seen the transition from small time YouTuber to building like impressive looking rooms like this.
Thank you.
So,
well, I invested several $100,000 building my showroom, so I am in it pretty seriously. Like it has to work as a business. so obviously I do want to be building rooms and getting, people through and building for them as a commercial business, but I also have a standard of room that I want to build, which is what you can sort of see there, which is, using proper room design and, you know, identifying all the issues with a room and trying to work around them and putting the time in to do it right. And obviously partnering with companies like KRIX, which is the middle of everything. If it wasn't with KRIX, I wouldn't be doing this. I can tell you now, and probably Michael as well. So he's been a massive part of my channel and journey, my personal journey in home theater as well as a good friend.
Nice. Look at that.
Thanks,
Nice to
man.
have friends in the business.
It is. It is absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, Tony, when you, I saw that video you did with the Dolby Atmos mixing person. I forgot his name.
Rob
When you,
Oh yes, Rob McKenzie. That was with Michael as well and Scott Cricks.
wait, so when you were there, obviously the movie's already been out. Like, what did they show you while you were there? Like, how did they mix this stuff? Were they really active in their height channel placement and all that? Like, what was your takeaway from that?
Well, I guess Michael can probably answer it better than myself, but I mean, I was just in awe of being in, because Furiosa is one of my favorite movies. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
awesome.
love the LFE in that movie. I demo with that on Kaleidoscope all the time, and I got to say, actually seeing the interview with Rob and hearing his feedback, it just gives you another dimension when you rewatch the movie, because all the little things that he said, like he said that, if you remember, Mike, he was saying that George Miller was like very pedantic about audio. So he would just have dozens of microphones and he'd put them everywhere. He'd put them under the cars. He'd put them like inside the cabins. He'd put them everywhere so that he could just capture every detail and then be able to sort of enhance it in. And obviously, like Mike, you probably take over, but he was showing us in real time how they pan the sound around. That was like, it was incredible.
Yeah, he was mixing a movie when Scott and I went in. We went in the day before, and he was mixing a movie which we weren't allowed to discuss or talk about or anything like that. I'm not sure it's even out yet, but he was more showing us just how he could mix like the Foley and then the music and then the dialogue, and he'd pull those streams in and out, and all of a sudden everyone would be silent, and you'd just hear these noises, and then all of a sudden he'd just pull the dialogue up, and all you hear was people talking, and just like how he could just adjust all of that was just, like, to me, to someone who just sees the final product where everything sounds great and put together, and really made me think, oh wow, they've literally spent hundreds of hours putting all these things together. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of Atmos sort of mixing in that. We were focusing on other things. But the next day when Tony was there, he brought up Furiosa, and I think he grabbed an object and was just moving it inside the Dolby tool and renderer all around and overhead and spinning it around just with the mouse, and it was just incredible. Yeah, it was very cool.
So do you think that, because I know we have an issue like when Disney, when they do their mixes and stuff, do you think that that's just a, well, so a lot of people say that the reason why we get some of these mediocre mixes is because they're trying to cater to the soundbar, you know, because how many of us actually in the real world have a home theater? It's probably like 1%. Do you think
It's
that
more
that's an
than you think,
issue?
Jordan. Honestly, that's growing. There's
And
more
that's
people.
good. Yeah, I heard during COVID it spiked since COVID. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are on having experienced that. Do you think it's the way that the people are mixing the movies, or is it just, do you think it's they're trying to cater so that everybody has, I guess,
It's a
a
good
decent
question.
experience?
Yeah, I think there's a certain level, and I think in the interview he actually says like they had that really big commercial cinema mixing studio where he would do the theatrical mix, and then they'll generally move that to their more residential closed mix sort of area. So we're looking at that. They're actually like kitting that out with all our speakers as well, where they'll do the residential mix. And he did say that they do have to look at the dynamic range of that. Not everyone's going to be able to play the SPL that the theatrical mix might have designed in. City just released a new white paper on SPL and reference, and what does that mean from commercial cinema to home as well. So that's a really good read if anyone wants to download and read that. And yeah, the mixing, like Rob was really he was really into it, wasn't it, Tony? Like I really think the amount of the time and effort and everything they put in, they're going to be mixing objects everywhere. They're not necessarily going to lock it to specific places. I think they're going to do that, and it really depends, I think, on the studio and the time they've been allocated and the budget and all those considerations as well. And mixing studios are very. We were there when we were recording, Tony. We were against it, like with the clock, and I got a little snippet of what it must be like for a sound mixer to be able to, do as much as they possibly want to be able to do in the time that they're given.
They're on the clock. That's what it was. I remember when I was recording my intro and outro, the lady came in like 4 or 5 times while I was just trying to one shot my intro. So yeah, time is money. I think Jordan, from my perspective and sort of listening to what others have said as well, it's a lot to do with the cost of running the studio, because they don't just port the cinema mix into the Resi. They have a totally different mix for the Resi. And I think they obviously don't invest as much money into that in terms of because of manpower to actually go in and mix everything. Like the Disney stuff they bake in, like Ready Player One. Mike and I have looked on the Trinov, and you can see just the expanding and contracting on the channels rather than objects moving around.
Yep.
So I think I reckon money.
There's pros and cons to, mixing stuff to the listener level bed or the 712 bed that you get within Atmos, and then moving the objects around from there. So like Ready Player One generally keeps that pretty static, but sometimes that's the best. A lot of people reckon that's one of the best mixes they've heard. So they can be good. I think one of the things is that when people are mixing for cinema, there's that standard of, it's at 105 dB peaks as reference levels. But then when it goes down to the residential mix, there's not necessarily a reference point there. It could be a bit more or a bit less. So sometimes on these mixes, then like I guess some of the Disney mixes, you really got to turn it up. I think an extra 8 or so dB to be able to sort of like get to that. Bring that back to that level. So, there's a few different areas at play there. Residential doesn't necessarily have as much, I guess, reference as what a commercial mix will, but it's really, hopefully the studios and mixers really do value that quality of their audio mixes and keep stuff nice and discreet, use your objects really well, because that's what, it brings that extra level of immersion, even though they can do a really great job with a baked 712 or whatever it may be. Yeah.
And I think too, like what you were saying, and even Tony, I agree with you about money and time as well, because and that's the one that I remember that was the quickest. Fall Guy, when that came out in the theater, I had that on Kaleidoscape 2 weeks, like I think it was 15 days later. So I don't know when they actually start working on the home release, but I'm like, is that really enough time to do a proper mix that's going to sound, similar to what it does in the theater? So I think it's multiple factors, but yeah, I'm sure they don't spend as much, they're not investing as much time or much money into that completely separate mix, because, like I said, even though the home theater is growing, most people don't have the setups that, we do.
Well, they have 2 different rooms. That's, I think, the thing Michael was saying is they were building, because I got to see it, they were building an actual second room just to mix residential mixes, like or Blu-ray mixes.
Well, at least they're dedicating. That's that's having a dedicated space for that. So hopefully that means that they'll be better.
Helps it translate more to this room and the reflections, and it's going to translate a lot more to what it's going to sound like in someone's residential room. So yeah, if you get a minute, have a look at the SPL white paper. The CD brought out. It's got some really good info in it. Yeah,
interesting. Terminator Juice, I only watched it once, but I don't remember Furiosa sounding that impressive. What did I miss? Dude, I gave it a 10. I thought it was awesome sounding.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody went to go see it, but it was one of the best looking and sounding movies I hear.
I reckon the story is great as well. Maybe it's a bit too Aussie. I don't know. Like Chris Hemsworth really does lay it on a bit thick, but I mean,
it's a great movie.
I heard it just because it was, it didn't have the main character in it, Mad Max. That's what I've heard. That's because you're calling it a Mad Max movie. It's kind of like with Tron. There's no Tron in Tron areas at all. 0.
Nah, well, it's called Furiosa. It's about Furiosa.
But a Mad Max story, I don't know. That's one of the things that I've heard. Maybe it's why it didn't do as well. Maybe people were expecting Mad Max to show up. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But.
Well, you should see it. It's one of the best looking. I gave it a 10/10, audio and video.
Yep,
Yeah, it's great
I'm with you.
looking.
It's visually beautiful as well.
Yeah,
Like on the JVC, I'm running a 900 and an 800, but the 900 in that room on a 180 inch, and I'm telling you that I just think it's absolutely stunning.
yeah,
There's scenes, where like when she's up against the gate and the flames go flying past her, like
yep,
it's just absolutely amazing, and the sound when they're doing that big run, where they're being chased
yeah,
through, and she goes underneath and puts the big skull on the radiator. That scene there is so much LFE in there, a lot of bass. So the demo worthy for sure.
yeah, 100%. And they were, what kind of speakers did they have in there?
Oh, when
Testing
we went
Michael.
into RMS, they were because they moved studios. They were reconfiguring them, but when we went in, they were they're commercial cinema ones, but they were the big three ways with I think dual 15s in them.
Oh, gotcha.
And there was 48 of them. If you look at the
Well, not
thumbnail
48
on
of
my video,
channels, yeah. Like they had, they were the main screen ones, and
yeah,
then a lot more around the place. Yeah.
yeah, 48
So,
channels all up. Yeah,
so what the surround speakers? Those were the dual 15s, or is it some other model?
No, the surrounds I think were the single 15s, but there was a lot of them. So yeah, they were the. There's a good shot. I'm not sure if you've got it, Tony, but if you have a look at Tony's video, he did of that with RMS Studio. It was probably a few months back now, wasn't it, Tony?
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
link it. Can I link it? Is there a way to link it?
Yeah, just drop it in the chat.
but they really spent time to get every speaker angled, panned, tilted exactly at the mixing desk. So they spent a lot of time. The spatial resolution in that room was just incredible.
I'm curious, do you guys know what Peter Jackson runs in his home theater by chance?
Not sure, no.
Okay, I figured maybe it was KRIX. I was just fishing
You're
for
not.
an answer again.
He's in New Zealand, so he could have KRIX. Does he need a home theater? I'm just putting that out there. I can build him one. Peter?
He's got
All of these
a,
directors should have one.
he's got a showroom 5 minutes away, but he's too scared to watch movies in it. So.
Well, all right, guys. Thanks for coming out with us. Tony, where can they find you? What do you got coming up?
Okay, I've got a room tour coming up of the room I just did. I think people like room tours. That's what built my channel initially. So of an MX-30 and Trinov combo. And I'm basically just working at the showroom. So running demos and showing people through. And obviously trying to do videos. I'm doing a Valerian video as well. A lot of people are asking about that because I do have the new lens for the new Valerian Max.
Ooh.
So not sure if either of you guys have had that in yet, but
Yeah.
I'm going to make a second video with the lens. So, and buildmontage.com or at buildmontage at YouTube. And that's me.
Nice. What's going on over there, Haterade?
So I don't know what's coming out next. It's probably going to be another projector review. I've got a bunch of projectors in here that I need to review, and actually I have a Valerian that's coming in that's stuck at custom. So whenever that gets here, then I've got some other stuff to do. Probably, I think Shane. I think you have the Hisense. I forget what that's called. Is it the
Oh, the Saturn.
Saturn? Yeah. So I have
Yeah.
that. At some point, I'll get to that. But yeah, so just pay attention to the channel. And, sorry for the upcoming mini projector reviews that are going to be hitting the channel soon. So, but yeah.
Nice. And Michael, where can people find out where they can pick up their very own set of KRIX speakers?
Yeah, so customers in the US, just reach out to Playback Custom, just playbackcustom.com. They'll be able to point you in the right direction there. We've got Tyler and Rob and Keith and Rich, a lot of great guys there. So they'll be able to point you in the right direction for the dealer that's closest to you and matches up with what you need.
Very nice. Well, guys, I will be dropping a couple of projector reviews coming up. I got a Hisense TV review / home theater and a box review as well. That's coming up, I think, maybe tomorrow. Remote control. I got a bunch of home theater speaker reviews coming up. Some Dolly, Procella, and of course KRIX. So be on the lookout on my channel. I'll leave some links to Haterades and Tony's channel down below in the video's description, as well as links over to KRIX. So be sure to check out those links in this video's description. If you want to pick up anything that we mentioned in this video, like maybe a trend off, links are down in this video's description. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you in the next video.
Catch you guys later.
Thanks.